Please the débat, the honourable member for Saskatoon West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I will be splitting my time. And, Madam Speaker, I want to say, as the Labour critic for the New Democratic Party, it is really my pleasure to rise in support of Bill C-7. But also, as a Labour critic, it is also my duty to rise to point out important aspects of this bill that I see are missing and need to be addressed. Like many opportunities I've had to stand up and speak on Labour bills, I commend the Liberal government for moving forward, but I would ask them to move forward a bit faster and sooner and to address issues that are missing. Madam Speaker, the RCMP, as we know and have heard, have been prohibited from collective bargaining since 1918, and to this day remain the only police force in Canada without the benefit of a collective agreement to regulate and protect their working conditions. So as we have heard in this House, 2016 is a good year for many things, and it is a good day for collective bargaining and the rights of working men and women in this country. The wait for our police officers, those working in the RCMP, the wait is finally over. Unfortunately, this group of police officers had to fight all the way to the Supreme Court to get this right. A right that their fellow officers and, of course, working men and women have had for a very long time. So like many victories, it is bittersweet, but a victory for these working men and women all the same. So that in January 2015, the Supreme Court ruling found that the government had failed to establish permitting meaningful collective bargaining for the RCMP members and would not disrupt the stability of the police force or affect their public perceptions of its neutrality. And therefore, in its ruling, it declared the prohibition of collective bargaining for the RCMP members in violation of charter rights and gave the previous government 1 year to modify the legislation. I feel the previous government showed their disrespect for these workers and this decision by not moving on this, leaving little time after the election to respond, and now we find ourselves, the Liberals are looking to push this bill through before the May 16th deadline. The Supreme Court said that limits on collective bargaining should be acceptable if it could be shown that those limits are reasonable, demonstrably justified, and necessary to achieve the goal of maintaining an independent and objective police force. Which, of course, brings us to today and Bill C-7 and to my point about what is missing in this bill for working men and women in the RCMP. We have heard from others that have risen to speak and support the bill, but also from my colleagues on this side of the House, to point out the important things that we feel are missing from Bill C-7 and need to be addressed. They include a number of issues that most working men and women include in their collective bargaining and have a right to be involved in and have as rights within their workplace. And we feel the most important exclusions that are missing are issues around staffing, deployment, unfortunately, harassment and discipline. These issues have the largest impact on the health and safety of RCMP members and are central to the health and safety of RCMP members, and are central to most of the public complaints RCMP members have made about their workplace. It would not come as a surprise that people would know that as the Labour critic and, of course, as a member of the New Democratic Party, we support and have supported the collective bargaining of the RCMP members and have always recognized workers' rights to meaningful collective bargaining, and that those issues extend beyond the issues of just pay and benefits alone. That good collective bargaining, good collective agreements also include a discussion and decisions with the employer and the employees on important issues around workplace safety and health issues. And these can sometimes be as important, if not more important, to employees in bargaining. And of course, as we know, for the RCMP members and from what we know about what is going on within the police force, that these are some of the most pressing issues for these particular workers, and that they are very much linked to their working conditions around deployment, harassment, and discipline. Instituting a collective bargaining.
The honourable member, we're going to. I think we should suspend. We're getting ready for a budget speech, and I'll come to that. And so we're going to. The member will have 5 minutes remaining in her speech when we renew. The honourable member for